Now, I know I didn't just see a white woman on my FYP talking about wanting to start a 4B movement here in America. Okay, no, but can we talk about this movement?
Can we talk? Can we talk about it? 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 Can we talk?
It's your girl, Cindy Noir, and welcome back to another episode of my show, The Cindy Noir Show. Today is no other day than Can We Talk About It Tuesday, and this Tuesday we are talking about the 4B movement and decentering men. Because ever since Trumplestilskins got reelected, that has been a big talking point on social media. And best believe I have thoughts on the topic and the subject matter. But before we get into the topic, I have some real quick housekeeping. Yeah. Now, I know what you're wondering. Cindy, what happened to your hair, girl? And real simple, real easy. This is what happens when you relax your hair at home as someone that's not a licensed cosmetologist. Yeah, I had a huge patch of breakage in the middle of my head where there was no hair but new growth. And rather than cutting it off and protein treatmenting and relaxing, I just said, I could just bring back the fade. And I cut my hair for the first time in 2016, and I'll do an episode about it because it's a whole story. But nonetheless, cut my hair for the first time in 2016, and I have been rocking a fade off and on ever since. I will grow my hair out, do a style, do a thing, and then come right on back home to the fade, okay? Something about having a fade as a girl is just unmatched. So shout out to all the ball baddies out there because we really run shit, and I love being gang, and I'm glad to be back home. I do be sad whenever I grow my hair out. I'm be sad because like when you are a bald head girl, when you're in the room with another bald head baddie, we usually kind of like make a little eye contact, or even it can be even it can range from eye contact to like a full-fledged hug with somebody, So I like to be gang like that. I like that feeling. And when I grow my hair out, I'm no longer gang. So when I see another bald head baddie, I know I'm a bald head baddie at heart, but she don't know because I got hair. And so like it just feels good to be home. And I got my fresh haircut this morning. So I am in fact feeling myself. So deal with it. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into today's topic. But first, I want to know what y'all's thoughts are on the subject matter. So, can we talk about it? What are your thoughts on the 4B movement? What are your thoughts on decentering men? Do you think that American women could pull off a 4B movement here? Do you think decentering men is important to a woman's existence and life experience? Talk about it in the comments and let me know how you really feel. So to provide some context, the term of the 4B movement was curated by Korean feminists around 2017 and 2018 on Twitter. It was in response to a highly publicized murder of a woman in 2016, where a man murdered a woman because she ignored him, and he was not charged for the hate crime that it was. So the 4B movement has grown in size amongst Korean women over the years. However, it has reached America within the recent years. And even more recently, with Trumplestilskins winning the recent election, there has been a lot of talk of American women trying to encourage one another, and not just women actually, it's been people in general saying that women should start a 4B movement here in America, citing the amount of men who voted for Trump and saying that they don't deserve any kind of piece of your coochie and that we need to just shut the shop down altogether. We should all band together as women and stop being with men, stop sleeping with them, stop dating them altogether, and just 4B it down. What do the 4Bs stand for? So translated from Korean language, which is where the 4Bs come from, the 4Bs stand for no sex with men, no giving birth, no dating men, and no marriage to men. So people are encouraging American women to engage in these 4 factors here in America. Now, before I give my opinion on that topic, I want to provide further context and explain why I feel like I have some expertise, for lack of better words, on the subject of a 4B movement. So I am 28 and I've spent the majority of my 20s abstinent. I have gone multiple year stints abstinent and dibble-dabbled here and there, but then gone right back to the abstinence that I was comfortable with. And so with that, I have years of experience as a woman in this society who is abstaining. And boy, let me tell you, wow, abstaining is a beautiful thing. You as a woman learn a lot about yourself when you are focused on you. And I don't regret any of it. Let me be very clear. Abstaining has protected me from a lot of situations that I don't know how I would have gotten out of in one piece, you know? And it has saved me from a lot of niggas with ugly spirits. So I am not regretful at all of the journey. However, with that being said, I also know very well the downsides of abstaining. The sexual frustration. Watching person after person you're trying to get to know switch up in energy and behavior when they hear that you're abstaining. The sexual frustration. The constantly having to say no to who you're entertaining because they don't meet your non-negotiables. And you can't see yourself giving the coochie you put up on a shelf to this person. The sexual frustration. Okay, I have seen and experienced the beauty and the nightmare of abstinence, and I've experienced a period of not dating men at all. So even though I haven't committed to joining any 4B movement myself, I have experienced doing the 4Bs in some way, shape, or form. So I feel like that gives me the space to say what I'm about to say, which is that American women ain't about to do no kind of 4B movement. Okay, that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. In the pursuit of women liberation, I'm gonna need for us to also be fucking for real, okay? We live in a well-oiled machine of a patriarchy, okay? We live in a society that is shoving down women's throats from as young as when we are babies that we need to vie for male validation and male attention. That is our lifeline, okay? We are taught that throughout our upbringing, and throughout our entire lives. We are taught that our proximity to men is valuable in both the way we are treated and the way society perceives us. And it takes real work to sit down and unlearn all of that. Work you have to choose to do. Work you don't have to do. You can function in this society and live a pretty decent life as a woman not doing that work. In fact, doing the work makes your life a little bit more complicated because now you're more aware of things you otherwise wouldn't be aware of. And we all know ignorance is bliss. So in the wake of Trumplestilskins winning this election, expecting all women to just cut men off completely, good luck with that. Huh? That's not happening. That's not happening. And don't get me wrong, this isn't me trying to bash women. I'm not trying to say that women are weak-minded. I'm not saying any of that at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I know how tough it is to have a fine man in your phone. He fine. I mean, fine. We all know how rare those are. And he says something that is a deal breaker. And having to act on it, despite having not had any for months, even years, that's hard. Okay? That's not easy. And I don't think that every woman wants to make that decision, and nor should she have to make that decision. That's a hard choice to make. Sometimes they be fine and they say something and it's like, damn. I can either ignore this and get my nut, hopefully, because we know how y'all like to do, or I can adhere to this and walk away again. Abstaining means saying no 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times, 10 times, 20 times in a row before you get one yes. Most people ain't trying to do that. Sex is reproductive, yes, but it's also recreational. People trying to knock boots. And I don't blame them, okay? There are women who want to get their rocks off, but there are also women who want to find love with a man. And looking for all women to just stop dealing with men and join in solidarity with women is crazy. I think that's just kind of that's a tall order to ask all women to do at the same time. I'm just being real. Our society functions off of women performing for men. That's like a cornerstone of it. We literally live in a society where women will take classes to learn how to ride and suck tallywhank better. How many classes do you see of men taking where the class is full of men learning how to stroke and eat better? I'll wait. That's besides the point. The point I'm trying to make here is our society functions properly in the way it's supposed to through the patriarchy, to where we are conditioning women to strongly prioritize men in their lives. And the process and the work that is needed to unlearn that conditioning, not everyone wants to do or chooses to do. And I don't think it's fair to expect all women to do it. What's also blowing me about this whole 4B movement on social media is the amount of white women trying to encourage it. I know y'all not talking. Susan, I know y'all aren't the ones trying to encourage all of us to do a 4B movement. Y'all are the main ones who have never come up off y'all's man. Y'all have been my man, my man, my man since y'all own people. You were washing the blood out of your Ku Klux Klan man's robe. Y'all are not going to stop riding white tallywhank over who they voted for. That's slight work in comparison to what y'all been sticking beside this whole time. These men was riding out at the crack of night, putting crosses in people's yards, lighting them on fire, coming home to you to lay old titty. Child, y'all are not coming up off Timmy Turner anytime soon. Let's be so for real. It's infuriating whenever we watch white women, and then here come white women trying to undo the white womening. Y'all need to just... We sat there and watched half y'all vote for that man. Now you want to talk about coming together and joining together to do a 4B movement. Y'all can't win with me, honestly. There's nothing y'all can really do to fix it. Aside from jumping ship from white supremacy altogether, there isn't much you can do to make it right in my book. And I'm okay with that. It is what it is. Because something about a Samantha trying to encourage all women to boycott men, girl, if you had to choose between me saving me and the white privilege that you being in close proximity to a white man gonna get you, I bet you ain't choosing my black woman ass. You ain't choosing me, girl. Y'all wanting to talk about unity and coming together is crazy. We hear how you talk about your friends, your mother, your sisters. Child, go ahead. I just feel as though instead of trying to get all women to join a movement, we really just should sit back and let the show unfold. We are already experiencing record-breaking birth decline. Already. Since Roe v. Wade got overturned, and it kind of started before then, but it really revved up and turned up a notch after Roe v. Wade was overturned. We've seen a stark decline in birth rates. People aren't fucking as much. We're seeing a stark increase in red pill content because men ain't fucking as much. So it's already kind of happening. I don't think we need to call it a thing. We should let the thing happen. This presidency is going to come with harsher abortion bans. And they're going after birth control too. So I think we just need to sit back and let nature run its course. We don't need to call it a thing. We don't need to make it a thing to commit to and join. It's going to naturally happen. We have a generation of young women coming into their 20s, into young adulthood. Straight young women whose male counterparts are glued to their computer screens watching red pill content. Who these girls finna be fucking? Red pill content is cranking out some of the corniest, lamest, weirdest, awkwardest little boys. No game, no social skills, don't know how to talk to girls at all. Who these girls finna be fucking? We don't have to worry about no kind of 4B nothing. It's just going to naturally happen. I'm not worried. It's already happening. The more we see the abortion bans crank down, the harder it's going to become for us to find abortion clinics to go to travel to. The harder they come down on tracking women's travel and why they're traveling and where they're going and their cycles and stuff. Yeah, it's going to naturally happen. I'm not worried about that. But I do believe that instead of us trying to encourage a 4B movement, we need to be encouraging decentering men. And I know we've been talking about it. It's been all up in social media. Everyone's talking about it and using the word, and it's annoying. I get it, but I think it needs to be encouraged. Because if you make decentering men the foundation of the message, that leads to abstaining. That could lead to women opting out from men altogether. But I don't think we should make that the focal point, because abstaining is a personal choice. It shouldn't be a social thing to do to fit in or for us to all demand it. No, I don't think so, because I'm doing it, and that is a commitment that you need to make for yourself. And not everyone wants to make that commitment, nor should they have to. I keep saying that because it should be a choice you make with your body. And not every woman wants to shut down their shop, and they shouldn't have to. I get it, girl. Get them rocks off. But I think we should be discussing decentering men and making yourself your center. That is the message that I think should be what is encouraged. Sis, are you not wanting to abstain because you genuinely enjoy sex and you're having a great time and your needs are being met? Or are you not wanting to abstain because you fear that if you take your coochie off the table, you will become less desirable to men, making it that much harder for you to find somebody? Unpack that and get back to me. Because I think that the topic of decentering men is when we get into those tough questions. And that's what's important. You are engaging with men and involving yourself with men, not because you're enjoying it, but because you think that's what you're supposed to do to get their attention or their validation, that needs to be explored further and to figure out why you're doing that. And that is the process of decentering men. Decentering men, to me, isn't so much about not dating them, not talking to them, not sleeping with them. It's about you asking those hard questions of, why do I act this way? Why do I do this thing? Is that what I genuinely want to do? Or am I doing it because I think it's going to get me a certain response? Though that's decentering men. Because when you realize you're behaving in a certain way that doesn't serve you, you then need to ask yourself, well, then what would I prefer? If I'm moving in a way, if I'm entertaining a guy that I don't really like for real, but it's attention that I think I need to get, why am I okay with that? That's when we get to the nitty gritty of things, you know? Decentering men is all about centering yourself and getting back to a space where you are functioning from a place of your wants and needs coming first. Not performance, not prioritizing their needs over yours, but you functioning out of, I'm doing this because it makes me happy, it makes me feel good, and I enjoy it. Not, I'm doing this thing because I think it's gonna get me a man. I'm doing this or not saying that or not wearing this or not doing that because I think it's going to strengthen my chance of getting a man. You have men centered too much in your life, and that's a problem to me. While I think it is okay for a man to be a priority or wanting a man to be a priority, I don't think it's okay for that to be the center of your priority, because you should be your center. And so over the next 4 years, I will make it a point on my content, especially, to make more content about encouraging women to center themselves and to remind women that this is your life, girl. Do you like that man? Cut the bullshit. I don't care that you like how it feels to say that you have a man. I don't care that you like how it feels that you're somebody's girlfriend. Do you like that man? Is he meeting your needs and your wants? Is he someone that you respect? No? Get rid of him. Find another one that's more aligned with you. That's how you center yourself, you know? Centering men is when you are with someone, you don't like that man. You don't like him. You don't respect him. He says and does things that just gets under your skin. You don't like it, but you with him because when you say you have a man, that gives you some kind of little tingly feeling. Yeah, you're male-centered when you do that, babes. And that's no tea, no shade. I've done it myself. That's how I know. But that needs to be unpacked, because why are you sitting here unhappy to say you got a man? If you're behaving that way, are you at your center? I don't think so, Toots. Let's unpack that. I want for us to shift to that. And I wish we found a different title than decentering men, because while that is the action, the focal point is you. Maybe I'll just call it centering yourself. And part of that process is decentering men, because the focal point needs to really be about you, sir. It needs to mainly be about your experience and what you want out of your life. This is why I say there shouldn't be, we shouldn't make it a thing. We shouldn't call it a movement or anything, because once you make it a movement, people begin to put a certain air about being a part of said movement. There becomes this, pompousness around, I'm a part of it and you're not. And that's why I don't like the decentering men trend we're seeing on social media, because it's like there are women who have decentered men who are bullying women who haven't, and like looking down on them because they're more evolved. Like, I don't like it. Oh, you're still dating men? Like, you still like men? Ew. Yes, women out here are going to continue to date and marry men. And yeah, that doesn't make you better because you not. Okay, girl. Like, it's weird energy to me. And I think that's the last thing that we as women need right now, is to be putting yourself on a high horse because you've opted out of men. Okay. And she didn't. Y'all made your own individual choice. There's no need to turn it into this hierarchy of, I'm better than you because I did and I have more strength than you got. We ain't got to do all that. We ain't got to do all that. We gotta do all that, okay? While yes, there are pick-me women who are dangerous to women and I don't like them, I still don't think that all women who still want to be involved with men are pick-me's. Like, I need for us to dial it back and tone it down. If you are only attracted to men, what you gonna do? Nothing? Ever? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's fair. So I'm not looking down on women who choose to continue to date and involve themselves with men. No. For what? They're attracted to men. I don't like that. And so I feel like, within the next 4 years, we need to be working together to accept reality and support one another, okay? And respect each other's choices. Respect the fact that there are going to be more women out here who are going to opt out from men altogether and take a break, take a hiatus, take a step back. And also respect that there are going to be women out here who do not and who will continue to involve themselves with men, sleep with men, date men, and marry men. Both are going to happen. And I just think we'd get farther ahead together if we accept that reality instead of trying to get either side to join the other side. Let's just let bygones be bygones and let nature run its course and continue to encourage women to center themselves in their lives. Because the more we encourage each other to center ourselves and remind ourselves that our choice and our wants and needs come first, that's when we will see more change in who we associate with, who we give our bodies to, who we entertain. That will evolve. So it's more of like an internal working that will then in turn manifest on the outside over time. I am all for abstinence. As someone who has done it, I support women in doing so. However, I also support women in not, and understanding that it is a commitment and it is not an easy one. And I'm such a supporter of choice. I don't feel better than someone who chose differently. And I don't look at someone else's choices or look up or down on them. That's your body, your life, and your choice. And I just think we get further along as a community of women if we would just do the same and let people do whatever they want with their coochie and mind your business, So now that you've heard my thoughts, what are your thoughts in response to mine? How do you feel? And can we talk about it? Do you think I'm out of line? Do you think I'm being out of pocket? Do you think that us being in a patriarchy plays a role or not? I want to know. Because believe it or not, I do read your comments. And who knows, a comment or two may pop up on a future episode. Who knows? I hope you all enjoyed this Can We Talk About It Tuesday. And while y'all are commenting your thoughts on today's topic, be sure to comment any other things you want me to cover and talk about on my show. I'm curious to know what you want to hear me talk about. But in the meantime, be sure to tune into next week's episode. And until then, y'all be blessed and bless up. Bye.